A new app described as Yelp for Conservatives is having a little bit of a leaking problem. Now, the app named 63 Red Safe, which has the motto of keeping conservatives safe, is apparently doing a very poor job at it, as it has been found out that there is a data leak issue, or was a data leak issue. Now, first, in case you're wondering, in case you missed that segment, what is 63 Red? Well, I'm going to let the founder explain, as he did on Fox and Friends. Let's take a look.
I've seen this described as Yelp for conservatives, but Scott, on the locations that are deemed unsafe, and that one right there is safe. What went into saying they're not safe?
Sure. Well, users can review the local businesses and restaurants. It's just 4 quick questions, yes or no questions. Number 1, does this location serve all customers regardless of political beliefs? Will they protect their customers if they're under attack by others in the restaurant? There's a concealed carry question, and does the location have a political presence in their social media? Again, we're trying to get politics out of these businesses. We want businesses to understand that there's no money in politics, and we're working to call them out on it. People just want to go out and eat. They just want to go out and shop. Let's not mix the two. There's sort of a general unease among conservatives, and we want to make sure everyone's safe out there.
We want to make sure everybody's safe out there. I get that. Again, apparently they're doing a pretty bad job of it. Now, this is according to Robert Baptiste. Now, Robert Baptiste is a French security researcher, and he goes under a fun little pseudonym of Elliot Anderson. Now, according to him, the 63 Red Safe app has leaked almost all of its data. Now, Baptiste says the app's source code contains the credentials of its author, but also a list of API endpoints to which it connects to store or retrieve data. Now, the backend, apparently, according to ZDNet, says that it doesn't use any form of authentication. This means that anybody could look up the can look at the app source code, get the API endpoints, and then extract data from the app server with no restriction. None. No restriction. Now, look, I'm not a code monkey, right? I once built a simple calculator out of code for school, and it was awful. I eventually got it to work, but man, did that suck. Afterwards, I was like, screw that. I am not going to be a coder. Look, for those of you who have been into code, like, I understand that there's basically 2 approaches. You either love coding or you hate it. I hate coding. So, on that, I'm no expert, right? But from what I've seen, that seems to be a little bit of an issue for privacy when you have no authentication at the back end. So, now using this technique, the French researcher was able to determine that 4,466 users had registered and created profiles since the app's launch over the weekend. So that is 4,466 snowflakes that wanted to make sure that they were safe. Okay. Now, for each profile, Baptiste says he was able to retrieve information such as username, email, avatar, follower count, following count, profile creation / update dates, band status, and something called a hot score. I don't even want to know. So, look, obviously that seems to be a lot of data that can be very, very compromising to its users. So it's a major security concern. But that's not all. Other API endpoints also allowed Baptiste to block users and tamper with the app's database logs to hide unwanted intrusions. So you can come in, change a bunch of stuff, and then slip out without, after you erase the database logs, to show that you were never even there. Wow. Now, ZDNet also asked Baptiste in an interview if he could tamper with the user reviews of certain restaurants or businesses. Here's his response. Quote, "I didn't test that, but I was able to do almost anything, to be frank." Yikes. So let me just point out the irony real quick. The app is for conservatives to feel safe and not get harassed in whatever space they are planning to occupy. Perhaps you could call that a safe space. Because we all know how afraid conservatives are. And in signing up for this, these 4,000 plus users are now in actual danger because it turns out their data is now easily accessible to malicious actors. All because the coders themselves, the people who created this app, did not finish it, did not actually make a secure option. So I'm concerned about these people. I honestly, I don't want their data out there. Nobody deserves to have their information leaked or to be doxxed or anything like that. They could be in actual danger instead of pretend danger, which is what they usually are in. So I do hope this gets fixed. Now that leads me to where I disagree with Mr. Baptiste. Now the researcher said, and in case you're wondering, didn't he tell the company? I mean, as soon as he found out that he could go and access these things, he should have went, hey, let's go to the company. And by the way, you got a ton of issues. Baptiste says he did not. He said, I didn't contact them. Let's say I don't really like Trump fans. I know. Look, I some of you watching, you're going to be like, well, it's true. I don't like him either. But come on. I mean, basic decency, right? I like to make fun of Trump fans, conservatives, and I especially love to make fun of their safe spaces, right? But I think the right thing to do is to tell the company so that they can fix it and protect these people's data. This is private data, that we're talking about here. And yes, I do believe they have the right to privacy. Political affiliation or not, you got to do the right thing. Now, thankfully, ZDNet, after their interview, reached out to the company. They contacted 63Red and its founder and said, hey, man, we just had an interview for somebody that claims that your data is leaking everywhere. So maybe you all need to fix that. And then, of course, they did. A company spokesman reached out to ZDNet via email and said, quote, we take this matter very seriously and have already taken action to additionally protect our data. Now, they should have actually done that in the first place. But something tells me that they didn't quite know what they were doing, like a lot of these conservative offshoots. But whatever. Now, they also said the security of our users and conservatives generally is our primary concern. Why not just take everybody's security and safety into consideration? But they can't. They're constant victims. But they said, we will continue to improve our systems any way possible to guarantee their safety. Because look, again, I do want conservatives to have their safe spaces. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.